Hi YouTube land, and welcome to another vlog. It's actually vlog number 10, so a little bit of a milestone for me. I know 10 vlogs is not really much for many of you guys who have probably made hundreds or sometimes thousands of videos, but you know, there's a little sense of achievement for getting to vlog number 10. And it's been a while since the last one, hasn't it? It's been over a month since my last video. In fact, you guys didn't actually see my last video. I made, it was about a 40-minute episode that I made of kind of pickups and chat and rant and responses to other videos that I'd made. Unfortunately, it never got uploaded because it didn't quite get completed. This was on the 22nd of December, and I was going out of town to visit family and spend time with them over the Christmas period on the early on the 23rd, like 6 o'clock in the morning, and I was still working on the video at sort of 10 or 11 o'clock at night, and I was just trying to record the last bit where I sort of, wound it up and said goodbye and wished everyone Merry Christmas, and the camera kept shutting off. It was really frustrating. And I thought, oh god, no, after spending all that money on a digital SLR, the thing is screwing up. And I realised that actually it's not the camera, thankfully it wasn't the camera, it's actually the memory card. I don't know if any of you guys use DSLRs or use them for taking video, but especially the one I've got, the Canon 60D, yeah, 60D, this one. It's a bit fussy about what memory cards it uses, and I've had problems with it switching off, but luckily it hasn't really happened at an inopportune moment, and I haven't lost too much footage before using it. But this time it just it was all happening right at the end of the memory card, and it was really frustrating me. It turns out it's because I bought a Transcend card, the brand Transcend. It was what's called a Class 10 card, which is what they recommend at least a Class 6 for this camera if you're using it to record video. And so I bought a Class 10 card thinking, that'll be fine, and it's not. It doesn't like it. After doing a bit of searching on forums, I found out that other people have had the same problem. Some people have bought those cards and had no problems at all, but lots of other people have had problems with these cards and said, really, you should buy a proper branded card like a SanDisk one. The only difference is the price is phenomenally different. So I've got a 32GB card, and that cost me about, I think, £26 when I bought it a few months ago. Now, if I wanted to buy a SanDisk Pro card, that would cost me, well, even if I just bought the standard SanDisk card for a 32GB, that would cost me £46. If I want to get the Pro one, which you'd probably want just to be on the safe side because it's more reliable and faster, and you can write faster to it, that's £80. £80. 26 or 80. So yeah, so I'm not going to be using that camera for the vlogs anytime in the near future, until I can afford to get a decent card for it, because I don't really want it to keep switching off. Another thing that I realised that's not related to that, that's actually the camera, is that it will, and this is I think most digital SLRs, they'll only allow you to record one file up to 4GB in size, because that's the limits of the FAT32 file structure that they use on the card. And also they actually limited it within the software or the firmware of the camera itself, because apparently video cameras get taxed at a higher rate than SLRs, and so if the camera can record longer than, I think, 30 minutes, then it gets taxed at a higher rate, and obviously Canon didn't want to pay more tax. This is, as far as I'm aware, only here in Europe. But yeah, so problems with that. So that's why there's a bit of a change in quality. Hopefully it's not too bad. I mean, I'm still using the same lights and the same microphone, and really, those are the most important things. As long as you've got enough light to fill the scene and the viewer isn't, you know, straining to see what's going on, and they can hear you okay, I don't really think the picture matters that much, to be honest. So maybe that means I've wasted about £1,000 on a camera. Oh well. I'll just be paying that off for the next 2 years, because it's still on the credit card, along with lots of other things. But anyway, enough about all that financial nonsense. What have I been doing? What have I been doing over this last month or so? Unfortunately, not playing quite as many video games as I would have liked. I have managed to spend some time to get into some more of this. And I've even gone back in anticipation of hopefully soon playing some of the third one. I've been playing the first one of this.
Nice one!
Of course, number 2 will have to be played after that, and maybe a few months down the line, number 3 will be at a price that I deem affordable, and might pick that up. Although I have heard from a few people that it is good, but not as good as number 2. But then, what does that matter? Number 2 is just awesome. It would be difficult for them to top it. So I don't know, whatever. That's the future. I won't worry about that now. But I've also, as you guys will, well, some of you guys, I'm assuming, maybe you haven't, seen the latest episode of Gamer's Living Room. If you haven't, we've got a link up here to it. You might want to go and watch that now, because I'm going to talk a little bit about it in a minute. But preparing to record that, and subsequently after recording it, I've been playing a lot of this. I love that game. Absolutely love it. Still having a great time playing it, getting thoroughly whipped, even playing it on the second easiest difficulty level. Still getting thumped by the aliens. So, been playing a lot of that. And of course, well, as I mentioned in the previous video and probably the one before that, I've still been playing a lot of this. And what with the new Back to Karkland pack, which I got free, luckily, a digital download that I got for free because I'd bought it. Well, not really because I'd pre-ordered it. It's actually because I picked up my pre-order on the first day. Because I remember that when I went to Tesco's to pick it up, they had lots of copies. They weren't only limiting it to people who had got a pre-order, and if you'd bought it on the first day, you would have got a limited edition pack and got, as it came out in the middle of December, access to the Back to Karkland pack, which I wasn't really worried about. I didn't really think about it. Just picked up the game, and it's a nice thing to get for free. I'm not sure how much they're selling it for, maybe £10. I certainly wouldn't want to pay that much for it. It added four maps, I think, to the game, 2 of which I'd played on Battlefield 2. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I think that's a little bit of a con, charging people for just a newer version of an old map. I mean, obviously it takes time to remodel that in the new engine, but there wasn't the whole design process going into it. So not a lot new there, but good maps. I mean, the Karkland map is probably the one I'd imagine, yeah, the one I liked most in Battlefield 2, and I think that's why they did it. It's obviously popular with loads of other people as well. It also included 10 new weapons. Don't really see the point in including these new... They weren't really much different to the old weapons. I mean, they gave us another bolt-action sniper rifle and another cartridge-fed sniper rifle. You know, it's got a semi-automatic one. You know, a machine gun that's a bit like an assault rifle, and another one that's got a heavier magazine. You know, more or less the same. But I understand they can't make the guns much better or drastically different because it'll completely unbalance the game. So it is nice, and there were assignments. Oh, I haven't unlocked them all yet. So there are assignments attached to the weapons. You have to do certain things to unlock them, a certain number of kills or a certain number of resuscitations or healing or giving ammunition, all sorts of different things. And all in all, there were 10. Was it 10 or was it 8? 4 classes? Yeah, maybe. I'm sure it's 10 weapons. Anyway, 8 or 10 new weapons. But not really going to change the game much, as I said, because it would unbalance it too much. So I certainly, if that was a digital download to get those 10 weapons, something you paid for, I certainly wouldn't pay for those. That doesn't enhance the game at all. The other maps, they're quite nice. But, so I played some of that. Haven't played a great deal like I was doing before. And, well, actually, let me mention something that I did mention in my last video that I got rid of. And this is a response to my video that mentioned Battlefield 3 before. And after uploading that, the one where it had, I think I've probably only done one video where I showed some Battlefield 3 footage, the one where I'd got what I thought was a stupidly long headshot. And after, over the day or 2 days after uploading that video, I got a private message from someone, and it's kind of said, there was something else you forgot that was bad about Battlefield 3, and that's that it made me want to unsubscribe from your channel. And I thought, oh, okay, interesting. What's this about? And the person had gone on to explain that they hate those kind of games, and they were a bit sort of disgusted by the way the game had affected me. That it had obviously had a negative effect on me because I was supposedly taking joy in the fact that I was killing someone. Obviously I wasn't killing them in real life, but I think what it was is the expression I used about busting his melon, that they took to be quite distasteful, because I think that was the title of the message. But anyway, they didn't say this in a horrible way, and they went forward in the mail and explained why they were put off by it and why they were unsubscribing, and they just said, thank you. Not then, they didn't say thank you, but they just said, take care with whatever you do, and they were all very nice about it. Of course, I responded to it and saying, didn't really mean to offend. That wasn't what my intention was. I don't think these games have had a really drastic impact on me. I'm pretty much a pacifist. The games might wind me up occasionally, but they don't make me want to go and commit an act of atrocity. And that I see the games as almost like an elaborate game of tag. That, they're not real bullets. That's not real flesh getting torn up, and it's not real people's lives getting ruined. But I could understand their point that these games, and I agree, it's almost it is part of the recruiting process that the military use. Obviously, I'm sure most of you are aware about how much influence especially because we're talking about Hollywood here with movies, the American military has on Hollywood. That, for example, if you want to make a Hollywood war movie, it's difficult to do it without the help of the military, because it costs a lot of money to have all that equipment and soldiers and things in your movie. And so if you're making a pro-war movie, or a movie that's sympathetic to the military, then you'll get a lot of assistance. Obviously it's good PR. Whereas if your movie is critical of war and the military, you really don't get any help. I've heard a couple of directors talking about this before. And likewise, the games industry is going to be very similar. That they're going to get a lot of help with designing the game from the military, and the military is obviously going to influence the way the games are developed, and there's definitely a relationship between simulation, war simulation, and warfare itself. The military have been using computers for battlefield simulation for a long time. And so, yeah, this person was talking about that and how it's recruiting the young people, kind of maybe desensitizing them to war, getting them to accept it of being a necessary evil. And a lot of these games, I mean, you see Modern Warfare, you don't really see, even when the heroes do quite horrible things, it's always shown as necessary, because these are the evil terrorists and they've got to be stopped at whatever cost. It's very Jack Bauer in its approach. So yeah, I mean, that got me to reflect on these types of games myself, and why do I enjoy them, and why do I play them when I wouldn't want to go and fight in a war, I wouldn't want to kill another human being. But why do I enjoy those types of games? And it is a little bit worrying. And I think it's something I'm going to have to reflect on a lot more. But you guys, tell me what you think. Because I know a lot of you, I watch your channels, you like these kind of games. Do you feel they affect you? Do you feel you're being subconsciously conscripted into the army in any way? I don't know. But yeah, so enough about that. So I've been playing those games, but then there's some other stuff I've been playing recently, but that gets into the stuff that I've picked up. And there was a good sale in Blockbuster before Christmas. They had a very good 4 for 20 and 2 for 20 sale. Lots of titles in it for both Xbox 360, PS3, and to some extent some Wii, and they had then cheaper PlayStation 2 and a few Xbox, or at least my local Blockbuster doesn't seem to have a great deal of Xbox stuff, and seems to be a lot of the PlayStation 2 stuff that they have got is sports titles, but I suppose that's the same anywhere, isn't it? They're the last thing people want to hold on to, the numerous iterations of FIFA and what's the other one, Pro Evolution Soccer and other sporty games. And I managed to pick up some good stuff, although one of the problems with the sale is that there were a lot of great games, but I'd got a lot of them already, and it was almost a little bit of a struggle choosing 4 games that I really wanted. So, well, let's have a look at those first, the 4 for 20 that I picked up. And the first one that sprang off of the shelf almost, as something that I've wanted to get for quite a long time. I mean, it's only been out a couple of years, but something that I've wanted, and I've said to myself, yeah, I'll buy it. I'm going to wait for it to come down to £5. I'm pretty cheap when it comes to getting second-hand games, and for me, I try to get them for £5, sometimes £8. £8 is where a game starts becoming attractive. And so these games were £5, and the first one was this. Now I have to say, although I haven't beaten this game yet, I have played quite a bit of it. I've played I think the first 3 chapters, something like that. So I've got a good feel for what the game's like so far, and I must say I really enjoyed it, and I would have happily paid £10 for this, because, in fact, compared to some of the other launch day titles I've bought recently, I think I would have been happier with this than maybe 1 or 2 of the others that I bought last year. Really, really beautiful game, obviously because of the game mechanic using the torch as part of your weapon or your weapons system. It really gives it a great aesthetic to it, and the forests and the mountains and the way it's all lit up, it's very eerie. Really, really happy with Alan Wake, and I'm going to continue playing that for sure. That's on my list of stuff that's being played right now. So I thought I'd take a punt on something that was a sequel to a game that I absolutely loved, and that's this. BioShock 2. Now, I'd not bought this when it first came out because I'd heard that it wasn't quite as good as the original BioShock, and also what kind of put me off was I waited a few weeks for the price to drop, but then the price did drop dramatically. It dropped down to £10 in what seemed like no time at all. So that in itself set off alarm bells for me. So I thought, well, I won't buy it. It's probably not very good. If they're willing to drop the price that quickly, there must be something wrong with it. But at £5, I felt that that's the sort of region where taking a punt on something doesn't hurt too much, doesn't hurt the wallet too badly. Haven't tried it, but I'm going to check it out soon, and hopefully, if it's half as good as the original BioShock, it will be worth £5. So, the next thing I picked up, again, was something I wasn't all that sure about, but it's this one. Dragon Age Origins on the PS3 has been played just a little bit. I put it in, I tested it, I just wanted to get an idea of what the game was like. I think I was suitably impressed in that there seemed to be quite a lot of, like in Mass Effect, quite a lot of variation to the type of character that you can create. One of the things it doesn't have, that it does have in Mass Effect, is the voices. Well, your character's voice. Other people are voiced, but your character isn't, which is a bit of a shame. Alright, it's not essential because you're choosing the lines of dialogue you want them to say, and really, I suppose it doesn't need it, but it's something I was expecting. Can't say too much about the story because I haven't really gone into it in depth, but it looks promising, and I've heard good things from other people about it, so at some point in the future, some point this year, I'll give that more of an in-depth playthrough. The last one I picked up in that was, well, a game that I'd never heard of, but a franchise that I had heard of, and that's this one. Samurai Showdown Sen. I haven't even popped this one into the Xbox yet. I don't know, I'm not really sure why I picked it up. I just needed a 4th title, and all of the other good ones I saw there, like Bayonetta was one of them, for example, I'd already got. So I opted for that one. Maybe I'll play it in the future. The thing is though, on the Xbox I don't have an arcade stick, and I really, those kind of games I do want to play on an arcade stick. They're not so much fun on the Xbox 360 pad, which I think is quite bad for playing first person games. It's brilliant for first person games. For beat 'em up games, it's not so good. So haven't played that yet. Now, there were two others that I picked up in the same store, and that was in the 2 for $20 sale. First one of those was this one, Your Shape Fitness Evolved, and I got this actually it's not for me, it's actually as a Christmas present for my girlfriend. Having said that, I think she's used it once. But I'll get back to that in a sec, because I'm going to talk a little bit about New Year's resolutions, and that kind of ties into those. Looks quite good from what I've seen of it so far. Quite an impressive fitness title, not really a game, I suppose, although it does have little mini game sections in it. It's responsive, and it puts a little avatar on screen that looks like a version of you moulded out of electric jello, and it's quite good. Like I say, I only played a little bit of it. We'll definitely try and play some more and force my girlfriend to play it, because I bought it for her. She should want to use it, because she said she wanted some Connect games. I think she wanted Zumba, but I'd heard it was pretty rubbish, and so I told her to hold out for Zumba 2, which should be a lot better. Anyway, so there was that one, and then the other game that I picked up in the 2 for $20 sale was one that I've wanted for a long time. I'd heard it referred to as the best looking game on the Xbox or on any console, and they weren't far wrong with that, and that's this one. Yeah, Crisis 2. What a beautiful, beautiful game. The cities, the model of the character, his weapons, his arms, all of the effects for the different skills that he has as he uses them. Really liked it. I mean, it's alright. It's a bit linear as a one-player game. But it's story driven. It's quite nice. Played a couple of hours of it, 4 hours of it maybe. So I've seen a bit of the game. Liked it. Played a little bit on multiplayer as well, and thought that's quite an interesting style of play with the different abilities, and you've got a certain finite amount of energy that runs down, and you have to then switch off your abilities for it to recharge, and it's all about energy management, which I think adds a nice dynamic to. The unfortunate thing is, as one of the skills is invisibility, lots of people use the invisibility skill and just hide in the corner and snipe and camp, which is okay if you want to do that, but it can get a little bit frustrating. But I only played maybe an hour of multiplayer, but it looked promising, so I might go back to that at some point if I decide to continue with Xbox Live. I nearly quit my Xbox Live subscription. Well, because what happened? I had a year's subscription, came to the end of that, and then Microsoft came up with a little thing that popped up and said, oh, well, normally it's £5.99 a month, but we will offer you 3 months for $5.99. And I thought, oh, well, that doesn't sound too bad. Besides the fact that I feel we shouldn't have to pay for this. I still thought, well, £2 is not too bad, I'll pay for that. And I'd set myself a little reminder on my phone to January 20th, cancel it so you don't get charged for the rolling subscription. And I don't know if any of you guys are on Xbox Live and have tried to cancel it, but you can't do it through the console. They are so sneaky. All of the other stuff you can do, you can manage your account through it, but if you want to quit, you've got to go onto Microsoft's website and you've got to find the bit where you can quit and manage your account from there. And then as I did that, it popped up with another offer. Hey, why not try 3 months for £7.50? A half price deal. And I thought, oh, I still want to play a bit more Battlefield 3. Alright, just another 3 months. I'll subscribe for another 3 months, then set myself another reminder to cancel it in May. And so, at least I think it's May. I hope I didn't get that wrong. But anyway, 3 months down the line, I've set myself a reminder to cancel my account, which I kind of hope that I do, because we shouldn't have, we shouldn't have to pay for the services of Xbox Live, at least the online play element of it. Fine if they give you loads of extra content, but if you've bought an online game, why should you not be able to play that game without being subscribed to Microsoft's service? I mean, it's ridiculous. On the PC, you don't get charged an extra amount to play a game online. On the PlayStation Network, you don't. Although I think if the PlayStation was more popular, you probably would get charged. I think it's because Xbox have sold more units, so they can charge it, whereas PlayStation has to have something more appealing, a free service. But I still think, if you want to charge for Xbox Live, yeah, have some special content on there that you pay for. I really don't believe that playing a game online should be an added payment. A lot of the games, I'm sure, is it right, all of the games, that it's not a server somewhere being managed by Microsoft where, hundreds of thousands of people go to play Modern Warfare. Your Xbox serves as the server. So why am I paying extra for that when my Xbox or somebody else's Xbox is being used as the server? I don't know. Let me know what you think about that one, because it's a bit annoying, but for the time being I've still got Xbox Live. So after picking those few games up in the Blockbuster sale, there was also another sale that I stumbled across, and that was in game. Not quite as impressive in scale, but there were a few titles in there that piqued my interest. Now, I'm not much of a singer, as you guys will already have known from my little part in Interghost's Christmas special, or his Christmas collaboration video. But I do like a little bit of karaoke now and again at home, where there are only a few people who can hear it. And one of the games that I picked up is not really a karaoke game, but I did find out that you can just use the karaoke element of it, and that is Beatles Rock Band. Yeah, it's jam-packed full of Beatles songs. Doesn't have all of the great ones on there, or at least it doesn't. It says "and more", so the one I really love is Across the Universe. Can't sing it to save my life, but I do love the song. It's not on the back here, maybe. Who knows? Maybe that's on there. So I got that as well in the game sale. That was £4.99. Second game I picked up for £5 was another I've been waiting to play for a while, purely because I like the idea of the story. I'm sure quite a few of you have seen the movie Red Dawn. Now, this game is actually written by the writer of Red Dawn, and I think this guy said on the box wrote Apocalypse Now as well. And so I'm hoping for big things from this. I didn't want to pay full price for it. I wasn't really that interested in playing it online, so I knew I might as well get it secondhand, because there's a key or something you need it comes with the full price game to play it online, or you have to pay for that, buying it second hand. I thought, well, that's not a worry, but when it comes below £10, I was thinking £8, I'll get that game. Turns out £5 in the sale. I was more than happy to pick it up at that price. Well, let's just take a look at it.
Over there, I see you! Holy shit! Why's the crash?
Who should we shoot? Shoot them all.
Now, I wasn't all that happy with it. I was expecting big things from this game, but it's really kind of generic and wooden. I mean, aside from the world it sets it in, which seems like it might be coming true. Let's hope to dear God that it doesn't. But some of you will have noticed that, what's his name? Kim Jong-il, the leader, the glorious leader of North Korea, died recently. And actually in the game, they have like a timeline from 2010 to 2020, whatever, the game, 2029 I think the game is set in. And they said to the end of 2011, Kim Jong-il, the beginning of 2012, because he died at the end of 2011 in real life, didn't he? So it was very close. I really hope that history doesn't take that course. But it makes for quite an exciting world to play in. The game just doesn't deliver. It suffers from that big problem that I feel the modern warfare games suffer from in single player mode, is that everything feels sketched out. It's all kind of pre-programmed for this guy to pop up here, this guy to pop up here, and you shoot this guy and another one runs along and takes his place and does exactly the same thing until you push forward. Although one saving grace for this game is you don't have that situation. You don't have to push forward. You can wait and you will eventually expend all of the enemy soldiers and then you can move on. Call of Duty, Black Ops and Modern Warfare 2, there were definite sections in it where if you stood your ground, the enemy would just keep coming and doing exactly the same thing. It's very robotic, and this game's got a lot of that. The characters, I didn't really feel any connection to them. I didn't care if they lived or died. It was, I don't know, there was just why it didn't work. I'll have to go into it in more depth and analyse it a bit later, maybe. Is it really worth it? I don't know. Let me know what you think. I mean, it's an old game now, so I suppose there's nothing to be gained by me dissecting it and inflicting that upon you. Picked up a couple of other little things. A couple of PlayStation 2 games, because they had, not only were they reduced, but they were on buy one, get one free. So the first thing that caught my eye was this one, Gunbird Special Edition. Now, I haven't actually played it. I can't show you any footage. Can't even tell you about it. But it looked like a sort of Japanese shooter. And they're normally quite cool. And at 99p, I thought, well, that's going to be worth a go. So I thought, yeah, I'll take a punt on that. And I get something else as well for free. So I picked up something I've actually got on the PC and have never played. But I thought maybe if it's on the PlayStation 2, I'm more likely to give it a go. And that's this one. State of Emergency. Now this just kind of intrigues me, the concept of being part of an uprising against the state. And I don't know whether it's you're trying to overthrow the government or just peacefully demonstrate and they attack you. I don't really know much about it. Like I said, I haven't played it on the PC, even though it's been on my shelf for years and years. Again, it was another one that I picked up at a real bargain price. Hasn't even come out of the cellophane. In fact, it's not even here. It's at my parents' house on the shelf there in my old bedroom. But for some reason I thought, well, that one it actually would have been 48p if I paid for it. So just a freebie to get with Gumbird. Not a bad one really. I hope. I hope. I'm sure at some point this year I'll get round to giving that a go. Now, so there was that sale, but then there was another game. Yeah, there's the Blockbuster Sale, the game sale, and after Christmas there was a Gamestation Sale. Or a Gamestation Retro Sale, or Last Generation Sale, and the generation before that as well. And I'd already been to that sale because I happened to stumble across it on the first day, but I had noticed that Darren Warshock and SNEStastic and maybe a couple of others had posted videos about it and shown what they'd got. So I thought you might be slightly interested to see what I picked up. And I managed to get 6 titles for less than £3 because they were all 49p each. 2 PlayStation 1 games, 2 PlayStation 2 games, and 2 Xbox games. So let's take a look. The first one's the PlayStation 1 games. Now, I've played Command & Conquer before, as I'm sure all of you guys have. Played it on the PC many, many years ago. But I thought, well, a PlayStation version might be interesting to see how different it is. And as I haven't played it for years, I'm sure there's fun to be had from that. And at 49p, it looked like quite good value. So got that one. The other game, Martian Gothic, again, I haven't played this, haven't tested it, can't really tell you what it's like, but something about it seemed like a Martian Resident Evil. That's what it looked and sounded like. It might be completely different. I won't know until I try it. But yeah, just amongst all the other games that were there, those 2 stood out. There wasn't a great deal of choice. I was hoping to get a copy of Metal Gear Solid because I don't know where my copy has gone. I've found a lot of my other old PlayStation 1 games, but for some reason 2 of them that are probably the most popular games seem to have gone missing. Metal Gear Solid and Final Fantasy VII. Final Fantasy VII I did like and did play that quite a lot. Metal Gear, I really want to play it now, but when it first came out I was impressed by the graphics, but I didn't really like the game all that much. I just didn't, I kind of got it, but I didn't love it. I didn't love it like a lot of other people have done. Actually, I found a copy of it that I had. I didn't even realise I had. I didn't even realise it was on this system. But I've got a PC copy of it. And I installed it the other day after a bit of faffing around and repatching. And I got it to work. And yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. So I've played through a little bit of that. It's tough. And I really want to play through Metal Gear Solid 1, 2, 3, 4... because I've got 2, 3 and 4, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3. In fact, I think I would, I saw a review for the HD collection and it actually looks quite tasty. So, yeah, I wouldn't mind playing that. But anyway, Metal Gear Solid wasn't there, I didn't get it, just pie in the sky dreaming. There wasn't a great deal of stuff, so I got those 2. Then the PlayStation 2 games were these ones. Now, I haven't played a Virtua Fighter game for a while, so I thought at that price Virtua Fighter 4 might kind of get me back into the series. I know Dragon PS has gone on quite a bit about how much he loves Virtua Fighter and Virtua Fighter 5, and there's a new version of Virtua Fighter 5 coming out. And so I thought I'll get back into the Virtua Fighter thing with Virtua Fighter 4, give that a bit of a playthrough. I haven't put it in the machine yet, but I'm looking forward to it. Plus I've got the Namco arcade stick thing, which is awesome. Can't believe I was lucky enough to get that for £4. That's really, really cool. That was a while ago. I mean, you might have seen that in a previous video. And what else? Oh, yes, this one, of course. Yeah, Family Guy on the PlayStation. Family Guy, the video game. Is it going to be any good? TV and movie tie-ins are the lowest of the low in video game land, aren't they? So I'm not holding out a lot of hope for this one, but I do like Family Guy, so maybe there's some entertainment to be had from it. You can see how slim the pickings were in this sale that I'm coming out with. Family Guy, the video game. And then 2 Xbox games. And as I'd mentioned, playing Alan Wake really took me back to the days of playing this game. Yeah, Max Payne. I've still got it on the PC, but I just wanted to try out on an Xbox, and for 49p, it's great, and it's in very good condition. I was really surprised by how nice this one was. And yeah, you can really see the roots of Max Payne in Alan Wake, the way the camera moves, the way it controls. It feels like a Max Payne game in a way. Yeah, and that just made me want to go back to it. I've actually got Max Payne 2 on the Xbox, so it's nice to have Max Payne on the Xbox as well. And then the other game I got was this one. Spike Out Battle Street. I don't know. It's by Sega, and that was enough to entice me. All I was thinking is this kind of Streets of Rage? Is this a 3D Streets of Rage for the Xbox? I'd never heard of it before. If it is, then I'll be surprised, because I would have expected to hear about this. Maybe it's just me. Maybe all you guys know this game. But yeah, I haven't tried it. Like all of these games, they haven't even been in the machine, and I've had them a couple of weeks. But I will try that one out soon. I will try that one out. I'm going to have a lot of time to play these games in the new year. This kind of leads me into the resolutions thing, because I've seen some of you guys doing your New Year's resolutions, and I've only got a couple, or 3 or so. The first one of my resolutions was, and this was the same resolution as last year, and it never happened, and that was to get fit and healthy. And I've taken one step further this year. I've actually joined a gym, and I've been going, and I've been dieting as well. Not to lose weight. I'm not really worried about how I look. I'm worried about feeling good and feeling healthy, because as a lot of you guys, the same as me, your hobby is sitting on your bum playing video games. You need a bit of activity in your life. I mean, I play football once a week, but it's not really enough. A bit of five-a-side football isn't going to stave off the effects of aging, but eating healthily and going to the gym regularly will, to some extent. So I'm actually really enjoying it. Not as much as I enjoy gaming, but I am enjoying feeling a bit more alive, a bit more invigorated. So I hope I can say at the end of this year that I've been to the gym all year and eaten healthily for the whole year. I'll keep you updated with that. Maybe I won't need to. Maybe you'll just see me get fatter as time goes on and realise, yeah, Simon didn't stick to that diet and health regime. So that was number 1. Number 2 is actually game related, and that is to not spend a lot of money on games that I'm not going to play. Now you'll see after this video, I'm going to do a response to Lawn Boy's 10 games I've never played, and 4 of those games, I think, I actually own that I'm going to be talking about. So it's kind of a travesty that you pay £5 or £10 or more for a game and don't play it. It just ends up sitting on the shelf. I quite often hear Alex, Blutonic78, talking about this, how he's got games and he'll have bought them, they'll have sat on the shelf, he'll have ended up selling them and then having to buy them back because he wants to play them. And it's all that wasted money. I don't want to be getting into that this year because I'm trying as hard as I can to pay off pay off my YouTube debt. the money that I spent on buying the camera, the lights, the microphone, the computer, all of those bits and pieces that I got to do stuff on YouTube, I've got to pay for. So I'm going to be doing a lot of that this year, which means I'm not going to be able to buy that many games. That doesn't mean that I'm not going to make any videos. I won't be making pickup videos, which probably after watching all of this you're thinking, please, thank God he's not going to make any more pickup videos. But I will be making videos of games that I've already got, because I've got, not compared to most of you who have hundreds and thousands of games, but I've got a fair amount, and enough to keep me going, making videos on YouTube, one a week for the next 2 years really. And so I'm going to be, that brings me on to, well, number 3, making more YouTube videos. Not making the channel more established, because I don't, in fact that might be number 4, not growing the channel. That might seem a little bit weird to some of you who, you know, you like getting all your new subscribers. I'm not that interested in getting new subscribers. I've got 150 or 170 subscribers, I think. And I'm really happy with it. I've met so many cool people through YouTube, and when I put up a video, people watch. Well, yeah, some people watch because they leave comments and they like and stuff. I'm going to go off on a tangent here, but I was just thinking about, just because you've got a view doesn't really mean that somebody's watched it. I'm sure if you just click on a video, that counts as a view towards your video. It's the comments and stuff that's more important. So I think I get enough comments on my videos. I normally get sort of 20 comments or something like that. It's plenty for me to respond to, and I obviously get to comment on your videos and chat to you guys. So I think there's enough interaction for me to be getting on with. I'd like to maintain it at this level. I don't really want to lose subscribers, and hopefully I won't, but you guys can tell me if this video is far too long. I'll make sure that I'm more concise in future. But yeah, I want to kind of keep the channel in the subscriber state that it is, and just make more videos. I'm really going to try hard this year to make one episode of Gamers Living Room every month, because I know sort of the last one, there was a good nearly 3 months between the one before and that one. It was the one before that was another 2 months, and I want a bit of regularity, a bit of routine to those Gamers Living Room episodes. I'm pretty confident the next one will be out in February, probably towards the beginning of February, because I'm going to be filming some of it this weekend. And these vlogs or other videos that are on this channel, I'm going to try and put something up here every couple of weeks. Even if it's just a short 5-minute thing, a sort of, hello, I've been playing this, I liked your video about blah 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 blah, or doing a response to someone's video, something every couple of weeks. You know, a bit of routine, a bit of regularity to it all, and also try, would that be number 5? Try and improve the quality. New Year's resolution. Number 5, improve the quality of the videos. Bring in more video clips and actually make more sense with what I'm talking about. Probably be more concise. So yeah, New Year's resolutions. It's going to be, 2012 is going to be quite an exciting year. And I suppose, all right, excuse this dragging on, but you can always just switch this video off now. But just wanted to spend a couple more minutes talking about a couple of things that I've seen on other people's videos, not necessarily gaming related, because this kind of stretches all the way across the internet and the freedom of the internet. It affects us all, and that was the issue with SOPA and PIPA or PIPA, whatever you want to call it, the 2 acts that are well, were going to and probably soon will be enacted into law in the States if people don't force the American government, Mr. Obama, stop him from signing them into law. And if there's I think there might be one of you out there who hasn't heard about this, it affects you just as much as it affects all of us. The right to be able to express ourselves on YouTube, to link to things, that YouTube would be destroyed by this SOPA Act, because as we'd seen recently with, is it Richard O'Dwyer or O'Dyer, British student who is being extradited to the States for setting up a website that showed you how to find some, I don't even know what it was actually, some content that he didn't own. All he'd done is create a link to it, or links to it, and they are going to charge him for that. Even though the legislation, I don't think, really exists to do that. I think they're hoping that this SOPA thing will go through so they can. And this will just end up taking away our freedom of expression. We won't be able to post things that use little clips of music. Doing gameplay videos would be a nightmare, because you wouldn't be able to actually show the game because you don't own it. Even though at the moment, under fair use rights, it's okay to show bits of games and talk about them and review them. I think even doing long play gaming videos, as long as you put commentary on them, they're okay. But this law would take all of that away, and not just YouTube and gaming, it's all freedom of speech and expression. And I tell you what to do. Don't listen to me chat about this if you don't know. A really good video I found about it is on TEDtalksDirector, I think is the name of the YouTube channel, the TED Lectures. They're fantastic, and there's a really good one on there. In fact, there's a link already, I can feel it, there's already a link down there, or there might be one, yeah, there's one here to it as well. Yeah, so you can go and find that from here. So there's that is something we all really need to be aware of, and we need to resist. We need to resist. Another thing is almost, well, not maybe for British people, because the internet, what happens to the internet directly affects us, but indirectly affecting us and directly affecting everyone in America is the 2012 National Defense Authorization Act. I'm going to put another link to that up here, because it's not gaming related, but it is kind of freedom related, and I think I do my little bit to make people aware of quite how heinous that act is. Although that has been signed into law, Mr. Obama surreptitiously, is that the right word? Oh, I'm going to have to check that one in the dictionary, but let's say secretly, because that's a word I do actually understand. He secretly, somewhat secretly, signed it into law on the 31st of December, even though he said, I'm not going to sign this into law because there are parts of it that are really quite heinous. And that is a word I do understand. And so, yeah, link to that one. I am just waffling. I think I'm just excited to be back in front of the camera talking to you guys, and I'm going to do that a lot more regularly. There is more stuff for me to say, but this video would end up going on for 2 hours. It would probably break my broadband trying to upload it, and you guys, the few of you who are left, will have fallen asleep. So I'm going to sign off now. So from my spare room to wherever you are, thanks for watching. It's Simon signing off. Take care. Oh, one last thing. I just forgot that I got a game today, came in the post. Something that I am a massive fan of on the Amiga. I even got it on the PlayStation, and it's really good on that. And now I've got it, or kind of sort of, on the Game Boy Advance. It is, you won't be able to see it, but it says International Karate Advance, or Advanced? No, Advanced. And that is a reboot of IK Plus. I can't really show you what it's like, so this might be slightly redundant, but you can hear it. And so they've rejigged it, reworked the graphics. I've had a little play on it. The controls are a little bit different to the original. I love this game, love the music. And ooh, you know, there are a few differences. Graphics are different. There are different places to travel around the world and fight. And you can even choose great characters like Biffo from England and take him all over the world to fight. So, well, you're not going to be able to see that. So you might just be able to see, there's the Houses of Parliament in the background. So I'm off to play a bit of IK Plus or IK Advanced on the Game Boy. So take care guys, and I'll see you again soon. Bye bye.